Hey, this is John. Glad you're back. So I wanted to go over some really basic stuff about changing up your career mid-career. Okay. Now this works better, I would say, when you're from entry level to that kind of high level individual role where you're not managing people, but this can work within the management framework as well. So here's how you go about it. Take your job description and look at it and say, okay, cool. What in my job description is standard versus specialized work? And I have another video, I'll link to that one. So you can go look at that if you want. But from there, you'd say, okay, what specialized work on my list overlaps with the role that I want, right? So let's say, for example, I'm a business analyst right now. Okay, I work with a lot of numbers, IT systems, etc. Applications, ERPs, whatever it is. But I also do a bunch of like operations analytic work. Why? Because I know the systems well enough to use the data in them and get it and manipulate it in a way that matters. So if I said, hey, I want to move out of this into an operations role, okay, cool. So I would go to my boss and say, hey, a task just came up where they need someone to go through and make a report that shows all of the ways that we are losing money on adjustments of inventory, whatever it might be. And he'll say, well, XYZ person should do that. And the answer from me is going to be, well, no, not really, because we haven't set up our data structure in a way where it's actually broken out evenly and classified into common groupings. So they'd need someone that gets the system more and understands like what people have been doing and is able to go through and code out all the data and pull it in a certain way. And I can make that argument to my boss, and then he'd probably go around and say, okay, fine, fair enough. We'd have to put that in my project list, right? Okay, cool. So you do 3, 4, 5 of those in a row, and you say, I'm going to lean toward this task, which is kind of outside of my normal realm, but it might fit within my criteria because it's specialized work, not standard work. So you do those tasks, you win at them, like really try at them hard. Take your resume, update it to say, here's my role, here's some details about my role, and here are the tasks, the activities, the projects that I've worked on recently, that are of interest for this role on your resume. And you frame your resume as if you were in the role that you want, although you're in a role that is a different title. Okay. So then you go and you apply for the next job and they look at your resume and they say, huh, this person's doing all the same stuff that I want to do, even though it's a different job title. They're going to think to themselves, one, this person's at a company that is too small or structured differently than ours. So their role is actually the same as this role, just as a different title, because that happens a lot of companies. Or two, they're going to say, hey, there's a lot of overlap here. And this person has experience in IT, in my case, because I'm a business analyst, and they're looking at an operations role. They're going to say, it'd be good to have someone in an operations role here that has an IT background. And they'll look at hiring me. Okay, so let's look at something that isn't so niche. I mean, business analyst, operations analyst, kind of narrow. So let's say you're a production lead or production supervisor in a facility, and you say to yourself, don't like dealing with the line, don't like hassling and corralling all these people and trying to balance the schedule and filling in holes when people are missing or whatever might happen. And you're like, I want a chiller job. Okay, cool. What could you do? You could go up to the front office, maybe, do a scheduling, do a planning, do a customer sales and support role, because you probably have some experience in the computer, fixing errors, whatever it might be. You could go into an inventory specialist sort of role. Okay, that's your second option. Everyone needs somebody that manages the inventory. Or in some cases, maybe you've got like an actual, like full on distribution and setup position that just manages all of the inflow and outflow of material to the production line and validates what's on hand, does cycle counts, whatever it might be. Um, Usually that's an inventory specialist role, but sometimes you have a little bit of variation here and there on those sorts of titles. And you could say, okay, these are all roles that are equivalent to either, a lateral move to, or maybe it's even a slight uh, promotion from where I'm at right now. Same sort of thing. You say, okay, cool. What do I need to do now? Well, one, internally they like to move people between roles, so you might just have a chance to take a shot at it right now and go. So always feel free just to apply. But if that's not the case and they're like, hey, we need you in this role, you're not qualified, cool. Same sort of thing. You go and you take whatever tasks you can take that would be focused on the sort of work that that role that you want to move into is doing. So if you're a production supervisor, next time there's a problem and they say, hey, we can't figure out what inventory was used here or our lot numbers are wrong, whatever it might be, you jump on that one and say, hey, I'll fix it. Investigate, look at all the documentation, look at what actually moved through your facility, work with your inventory specialist, whoever it might be, and figure that out and be the one that solves that. Okay. Once again, do that 3, 4, 5 times, and then throw it in your resume as if your role is focused on that sort of activity. Go apply somewhere else. Now, moving between companies isn't always the best deal, although if you can do it, that's how you make more money. So go apply somewhere else with your resume framed as if that is a key aspect of your job right now, and then make that move. Okay.